Hi, I'm Natalie of So Hungry Hippie, and I'm going to show you how to make a little woven zipper pouch. And the best part is you can then take this technique and apply it to any bag you want to make. We're going to be working with So Hungry Hippie soft vinyl. It behaves like fabric, so you're going to be absolutely fine even if you've never sewn vinyl before. I've got you. If you're just starting out, you need to get confidence, build confidence, put it under your belt, whatever that saying is. And the best material to start with, if you're brand new, is our soft vinyl collection. We have a bunch of colors, so you can pick whatever colors you want. I'm using gold because I really like gold, and I can see myself using this little bag on a night out. I'm using a number 5 So Hungry Hippie zipper. And also for my lining, So Hungry Hippie water resistant canvas, and this one is fuchsia because that's my signature color. So here we go. Let's do it. First up, cut your zipper pouch panels, since this could be a clutch or a zipper pouch, but just to keep things simple, I'm going to start with a small pouch. So this is 10 wide by 6 tall, and I just cut 2 pieces and I set it to the side. Then we're going to cut 2-inch strips, and I just use my acrylic ruler, and if you could zoom out at all so they can really see. And normally I would have my long ruler, but I don't have it in here right now because we've been cutting a lot of fabric in the shop, so I'm making do with what I've got in my studio at the moment. And you can just cut up however many strips you want to use to start with. We're going to do a really cool treatment, kind of like weaving. So MX Domestic, they have created a metal weaver tool that we're going to be bringing into the shop. And if you want to pre-order, feel free. The link is in the description box. In the future, we will make more projects with their inventions, so be sure to follow them at ASAP if you don't already. And thanks to Sherry Sarah for coming in the shop with her amazing woven denim jacket. What an inspiration. Thank you, Sherry. So this is it. I've got these strips to start with. I may only do the weaving treatment to the front. We shall see. Now, I have to let you know before I go any further, I did try glue, Elmer's glue stick. It didn't work. So I'm getting rid of that, and I'm going back to how I've done this previously, and that's with double-sided sticky tape. Yes, I know I'm going to be using a lot, but when tools make it that much easier, it's worth it to me because time is money, right? And we don't want to be wasting a bunch of time trying to get these strips to behave. So right away, I'm just going to put this on both of the edges. And then where we want to end up is an inch width strip. So we can make these meet in the middle and we're going to be just fine. Now, a quick tip, if the paper is not peeling off easily, start in the middle and try it to peel off the paper, or you can quickly set a hot iron very quickly, like a second on the tape, and it will make that tape adhere better and the paper will come off. Sometimes I have to do that if my sewing studio is really cold. Now I'm just gonna eyeball this because I'm not neurotic when it comes to this kind of stuff. I know about where an inch is. If you don't have good eyeballing on measure, just make a center line and have these puppies meet in the middle, okay? Nothing should be making you insane. All right, so there we are. There is one strip. Now we're just going to repeat that process to however many strips you have cut. And so I will have Ramel fast forward all this up, and then we'll meet back here. right, let's see, that's not my piece. These are the main body exteriors. So front and back, I'm gonna make sure that I have enough strips for at least the front. We will see where we end up. So my zipper is gonna be up here at the top. So my first strip, I'm going to place at the 1 inch down mark. And that's so I give myself enough room to put in that top zipper. So I want a little bit extra width on the sides so I can trim this later. I'm still gonna keep this because I could probably use these strips as this portion. So stick with me. What I'm gonna do is tack this one down. So you can either use more tape. Are you gonna be so mad at me for using all this tape? But I'm telling you, it's just so much easier. If you wanna pin it, you can pin it. I just don't want these strips to move on me. And I know Murphy's Law, I've met him. He's for real. So here we go. I'm putting the top of my strip 1 inch down. Capiche? All right. The bottom strip will be, the bottom of the strip hits 1 inch up from the bottom edge. So this part of the strip is at the 1 inch mark. Now the middle one, these I put the tape on the back and I pat them down so that they're not gonna fall off because I don't want those moving. They're not gonna be lifted. This one is gonna be lifted. So what we can do to just keep us organized and so our strips are not moving all over the place is put some tape on that end and this end. Don't take this paper off yet. Just take this side off. And you're gonna place this right in the middle. So the middle of this strip, the middle right here is at 3 inches up from the bottom. This to this is 3 inches. Okay, and then leave this one free for now. Don't take out that paper yet. Just leave it alone for the moment. Then what we're gonna do is take our shorties and we're gonna start doing our weaving magic. Now we have to leave some of the seam allowance, naked. So we're not starting right at the edge. We're coming in a bit over the top, under and over. So I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna start 1 inch in from the side edge, just to keep things easy. You can make it closer if you want to, if you feel confident about that, okay? I'm gonna put a little bit of sticky tape up here because we're also gonna trim this guy down so it's not gonna interfere with our zipper placement. Do you see that? We need a 1/2 inch free at the top edge here. So I'm just gonna trim him off a bit, peel off that tape, and make sure my strip is straight. Now it can come down off the bottom edge. It doesn't matter there because that, we can trim it later. You can trim it now, whatever you wanna do. Same with this guy. I'm gonna put a little tape at the top. I always get asked about using double-sided sticky tape. And no, it does not gum up my needle. I use a Microtex needle and it's wonderful. Now, how close do we want these? Do we want some space like a pie? Or do we want them like a little bit of a space? So like right there. So I'm just gonna lift this Yes, the tape will pull off the vinyl. Don't worry about it. It's going to be hidden. You can decide on how tight you want these weaves. Do you want it really tight? Maybe I do. Maybe I want them butting up against each other. Let's see how this looks, Ram. What do you think? And then this one, I'm just gonna peel it up. The most important thing is that we keep our strips pretty straight. Because if it's wonky, it might look crazy. But we can always assess that later as well. Okay, next strip. You know, it might seem tedious at first, but the result, I think you're gonna love it. At least I hope you do. And if you don't, I don't want to hear about it. You know I'm kidding, right? I love sarcasm. It's just fun. I'm feeling like this is looking like a pie. What's your favorite pie? All right, we've got some more strips here. You could pre-cut all these little pieces if you want and have them on your workstation. I feel like anytime I try to prep, like an ultra prepper, I lose everything. I just lose it. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't work for me. And then this one we will cut so we can use its brother. And what I mean is, so we're here, and now we can cut this here, and we've still got all this strip to use. Oh my gosh, can you imagine these in a crafts show? Nobody will have anything like it. You could probably price it whatever you want. Okay, this one's gonna be on the top, top, under, top, under, top, under, top. I think this one will be long enough to also use. Yes, it will. So would you look at that? We'll get 3 across with just one strip that I cut. Okay, so this one's on top, so this one has to go under. Top and under. Oh, I think it's looking so dimensional. Now this strip I am gonna have to straighten out. I can see it's getting wonky, but it's doable. With that tape, you can lift and move, replace the, what word am I looking for? Rearrange it?
Yeah, you need to fix that one.
Which one?
The finger.
Oh, this one, yeah. Yeah, it's step back before.
No,
Oh.
the other one.
Under,
This.
over.
That one.
Oh, this one, yeah. Ooh, that was a close call, Rom. And this one goes under. So before you sew, remember to step back a minute and check your work. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Now this one was under, so this one's gonna be over. And then we're gonna go under and over. Okay, I think we're gonna get one more strip in here because I don't wanna get into my seam allowance. So this one is under, over, and under. Oop. And we're about right. So an inch from this side and an inch from this side, and you're good to go. So this one I mismeasured. I'm not quite an inch over, and that's why I have a little more space over here. But let me show you, no problem. This is how I take care of that. We're just gonna trim this side down a bit. And that's how you keep things centered and gorge. It's fine, just make it work. These I'm gonna trim down. I'm gonna save this guy for the other side. So there we are. Now we're gonna go to the machine. I'm just gonna use Gutermann gray thread because I know that it's gonna melt into the vinyl. I am not a person who gets really bent out of shape about thread colors because with vinyl, it often sinks in so deep that it's not easily seen. But you do whatever makes you happy. I'm going around the perimeters right now. I'm just catching all of these strips. Coming back up here, remember the top of the strip is down here because we're gonna add a zipper. So that's how I'm gonna keep mine. If you wanted, you could sew down these strips, but you're gonna lose some of that puffy dimension. Just saying, isn't this cool looking so far? Uh-oh, did I do it right, Rom?
Mm-hmm.
Over, under, over, under, over, under. It's like my brain goes cattywampus when I'm doing this. Okay, let's flip it over and we're gonna trim it up. So I just turn it so I'm looking at the wrong side using my rotary cutter and my acrylic ruler. Keep everything nice and tidy. And we're ready to add the zipper. So I've got my front and back. I decided I'm gonna just keep a flat back so that I'm not keeping Ramel here all day long. My lining pieces are the same size. This is water resistant canvas. I've got a couple zipper tabs cut out and now I need to put my pull on the zipper. So I'm using my So Hungry Hippie zipper jig. And I come in at an angle and it slides right on. Now I'm using a number 5 zipper, but it's completely up to you what size you like to use on your pouches. Now I'm gonna put on a zipper tab on the end here. And I do wanna talk about zipper length. So every time I do a zipper pouch, the length of my zipper is wide enough so that I have a finger space on each end of the zipper. So if this is a finger space and I need a finger space here, I need a little bit more cut off of this end. And then I'll put on this zipper tab on this end. And then when I'm sewing, I'm not sewing over the zipper tabs because that is the thing that will give you crunched, terrible looking corners. And don't feel bad because mine were crunched for years until I finally figured it out. Yep, we can go to the machine and I'll just sew on these tabs quick. We have lots of zippers in the shop if you are looking for any zippers. And usually I make my zipper tabs out of fabric, but this soft vinyl is so easy and thin enough to sew as a zipper tab. I wouldn't use a really firm vinyl as a zipper tab ever because it'll be too bulky when you're trying to push your zipper tabs out. So just like always, trim it down to the width of the tape. All right, let's go back overhead and I'm going to treat my zipper tape with some double-sided sticky tape. press that down, and you can just peel off one side at a time. So the first side I'm going to sew on is this edge, and I will put it up here centered on the exterior fabric. If you misplace it, just pull it back up and put it down again. See how I have a finger width space on each end? And now, if you want to put on your zipper foot, that's always the best choice. I like to sew things for these tutorials without a lot of the tools that I would normally use for a great finish, because I don't want anyone feeling like you can't do it if you don't have a zipper foot. Yes, you can. Let's go to the machine. So first up, make sure that your pole is out of the way as you start. Now I'm getting close to that pole, and there's really no room to pull it that way. So I'm just gonna pull it back. Now I'm getting close again. Needle is down, foot lifts, and I move it out of the way. All right, that side is attached. Now we're going to add one of our linings, right sides down, flip it over, and we're gonna sew right along here again. Let's go back to the machine. You just wanna be cognizant of where that zipper pull is at while you're doing this part. I feel it, it's a big old lump here. So as I get closer, I'm going to move that pull. There it is. There we go. Now push that down, give it a good press. And let's do the other side. So I'll peel off the tape. Here's the back of my pouch. Right sides together, and making sure my sides are lined up. I'm gonna check it from this view. That looks good, lucky. All right, let's go to the machine. Now, see how my pull is right there at the beginning? I should have moved that before I went to start. There we go. I'm getting close. I'm gonna move it out of the way. Sometimes you just have to jiggle it around a bit. All right. Now the other side of the lining. If this were my right side, right sides together with your other lining piece. It feels wrong sometimes as a beginner, but it's right. Now you can always use clips to hold things in place. Okay, that looks good. Back to the machine. Now, is that? No, that's... I'm getting close to the pole because I see that lump. So I'm gonna move it down out of my way. So now we have got our two linings. Make sure to mash that down. And our two uppers. You might have the woven treatment on this side as well. Any way is right. But now we're going to top stitch this down. On both sides, let's go to the machine. I'm gonna crank mine up to a 4mm stitch length. And I am catching those raw edges of that vinyl as I'm sewing. And it'll never fray because it's vinyl. So you don't have to worry. Oh, it looks good. It looks like it's just going right into the zipper. Just make sure that you had pressed your lining out of the way. Everything is down. And what I mean by that is make sure that this lining didn't crunch up into your zipper teeth. Because that happened to me. when I was new to bag making. It happened a lot because you just don't know what you don't know to look out for until you have experience. All right, I'm gonna clean up some of these edges because I did not cut my lining very accurately. You can go overhead, Ron. On linings, I typically take a smidge bigger seam allowance than on the exterior so that my lining is super tight. I'm not a big fan of cutting your lining smaller because then it's harder to grab the opening and turn it under. So you want to have an open zipper. And then you're going to fold your exteriors together, right sides together. And your linings, right sides together. And if you've been doing this for any time, you know we're gonna leave an opening in the lining bottom. Start here and sew all the way around and stop here so we have an opening to turn. And again, on these zipper edges, where the zipper tabs are, there should be enough clearance that you are not sewing over that zipper tab. We're scooching right by it, and therefore it's not thick for your machine to keep sewing by it. It should not be an issue for you. All right, let's go to the machine. I gotta turn back down my stitch length. I'm doing a 3 millimeter here. Okay, here we go. Right by the zipper tab. The zipper tab is right here. I'm going right by it. See that lump? That lump that I'm missing? Yes, that's what keeps it simple. Okay, and we're turning the corner. Coming right back up, right beside that zipper tab. Don't worry, look, I'm gonna sew that in on purpose because I don't want you to freak out. You're not gonna see it. So just for teaching purposes, I'm gonna leave that in there. I'm not gonna lift my foot and fix it right now. I just want you to see that. See that, how I'm sewing it down? I don't care. Let's go. All right, let's take it overhead. We're gonna trim off these corners. See? It doesn't matter, we're not gonna see that. Trim off any excess, or at least the bottom corner. Did I not sew this? Oh my gosh, how did I miss that? Am I out of bobbin? I don't know how that, okay. All right, keep trimming. I trimmed that corner. I'm just gonna trim this down a little more at the corner. There. Now we're gonna flip this right sides out. And we're almost done. Now, if you want to, at this point, if you want little boxed corners, please feel free to do that. If you saw in my IG this week, I did tiny little 3/4 inch boxed corners on our new vinyl sashiko. I did a zipper pouch with it. You can do that to this. I just want to keep it real simple. One technique per tutorial, right? Is that a good idea? Or should I just do all the tricks in one go? It's not a trick. All right, be gentle here. This is also very easy to turn. So if you have arthritis in your hands or whatever reason, you will love working with our soft vinyl collection. If you're wondering which collection is soft. It's under our vinyl tab, and it's called the Soft Vinyl Collection. You could always email if you need more help. Don't be embarrassed. Okay, I'm coming in and I'm popping out those zipper tabs. You gotta give it a little push. They want to crunch in because you need to pop them out. That's the number one thing I see. People will come into the store, oh look, I did my zipper tabs wrong. And I'll just pop it out right in front of them. No, you didn't. You just didn't put your finger in there and pop it out. I mean, can we just talk about being a beginner? Because I didn't know when I started sewing that you had to sew things right sides together. It just didn't capiche in my brain at all. And so that was like wild. All right, I'm just gonna sew this bottom up. The opening, I'm sewing it shut. You can go all the way across if you want, and then we're gonna tuck it inside. Trim your threads, of course. And then really take a minute to coax that lining inside and push it into each bottom corner, top corner, everywhere. And then trim all your threads. And you're done lickety split. That is so cool, isn't it? Now, this is your jumping off point. I know for a fact you all are gonna make something absolutely spectacular with this technique. Do it. Do all the things, explore, experiment, allow yourself grace and time to perfect what you're doing. And also realize perfection is a construct and it's not real. Nothing is perfect, even if Valentino tells you it is. Valentino. But there you go. Is it in focus? I'm just so happy with it.
Oh.
I'm envisioning a Santorini tote. All right, go explore and have fun. Peace, love, sewing.